Hey everyone, John here with Redeemed Productions, and today I'm going to be talking about whether or not you should do a first look at your wedding. First of all, what is a first look or a first sight? It's simply seeing your spouse before the wedding in a private moment for just the two of you. Some people are for this, some people are against this, so let's talk about all the pros and the cons for doing a first look. First off, some cons. The major con that people express to me would be breaking the tradition of a traditional wedding ceremony. They don't want to see their bride before she comes down the aisle. They're afraid that it's going to break tradition or something, and that it's going to ruin the moment if they see each other beforehand. It's just not going to be quite the same. And on that note, I mean, it is a different experience, but what we've seen on the hundreds of first looks that we've shot, it actually adds to the first time that you see each other. And it's because you're not so nervous with so many people looking at you. Imagine yourself standing in front of 300 people and they're all staring right at you as you see your bride for the very first time. Now, if you're feeling like crying, you're going to do everything you can to hold that back, or if you're feeling like having any type of a reaction, you're going to feel like holding it back and not really soaking in that moment because you're really focused on everyone else around you. Now, if you do a first look, this gives you a great way to enjoy seeing your bride for the first time without the stress and the anxiety of 200 or 300 people watching you as you see her for the first time. To talk about some of the pros of a first look and why we usually will recommend them would be the following reasons. So anxiety is the number one thing that I feel like the first look gets rid of. It just deflates the room. It pulls the air out of the room. There's no more pressure. You've seen each other, and now you can enjoy the day. And if you think about it and you don't do a first look, you're spending the majority of your wedding day trying to not see each other. And that's just kind of crazy to us. So a first look removes anxiety. On top of getting rid of the anxiety, it just gives you a moment to be with each other together before all the craziness. You're getting married to be with each other, and instead of just focusing on all these details, it helps you center yourself, get back to why you're there, and just have a moment together. And let's face it, if you get to see each other beforehand, you're going to react a little more naturally. You're going to be able to soak that moment in and remember it instead of feeling like this out-of-body experience that there's just too much going on for you to actually visceralize and take in what is actually happening. On the other hand, just on a more practical side of things, I'm not one that likes to make people wait. And if you don't do your first look before the ceremony, you're gonna have to do all of your photos after the ceremony. And depending on how many bridal party you have, that can take a really long time. But by doing a first look, you can get your first look together, then you can do a bunch of photos with each other, add your wedding party, then add your family, then go hide before your ceremony. You've knocked out most all of your photos before guests even begin to arrive, which for me, it really helps with anxiety and making people feel like they have to wait on me. I hate that. So doing the first look gives me that chance to like just soak it in, get most of the photos done, and then relax before the ceremony. The ceremony happens, you knock out a few more last minute photos, and you can get straight to your reception. By getting straight to the reception, that gives you time to enjoy people. And for us, we want you to be able to have the most relaxed and enjoyable day possible. So most of the time, a first look really makes sense. I will say that if you're really against a first look and you don't want it to happen and you know you're not going to be nervous, we just make sure that you know that it's going to take somewhere between an hour to an hour and a half usually to get all the photos after the ceremony, which is totally great, but be aware of the sunset. If your ceremony is at 4 and the sunset's at 5:30, you're not going to have enough time to get photos with daylight. So be sure to take into account the ceremony time. We know that every single couple is different. We're not telling you have to do a first look. We've just seen over the years the majority of couples that do a first look are thanking us after the wedding day itself. It just makes the day much easier, much more relaxed, and very much more enjoyable. Was this information helpful to you? We would love it if you would share this video with any of your engaged friends or people that you know that might need this video. Thanks again for subscribing. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video.